March 2013, Baltimore. 60 federal agents in riot gear surround a detention center, not to stop a prison break, but to take the prison back. Inside, one inmate sits in his cell. He has no idea his empire is minutes from collapse. This man isn't just surviving prison, he's running it. 4 female guards are pregnant with his children. He clears $100,000 a month selling drugs inside a government facility. He eats lobster and steak while other inmates get slop. He decides who gets stabbed, who gets protected, and which guards keep their jobs. The state of Maryland was a joke. A gang member named Tavon White had more power inside those walls than the entire Department of Justice. And the most twisted part? When the FBI finally caught him, Tavon played one last card, a betrayal so ruthless that the women who loved him tattooed his name on their skin and carried his children would rot in federal prison. How did one prisoner hijack an entire jail? And what made the kingpin untouchable even in defeat? Baltimore City Detention Center, 2009. This is not a jail. It is a failed state wrapped in concrete. First opened in 1859, 150 years of neglect have turned it into something between a medieval dungeon and a condemned warehouse. Mold climbs the walls. Cockroaches scatter when lights flicker on. Rats patrol the corridors after dark. Heating fails every winter. Air conditioning never existed. 2-man cells designed for Civil War-era prisoners now hold men who sweat through summer nights with no relief. A former guard described one wing as the innermost circle of hell in the Maryland prison system. The administration has surrendered. Security cameras malfunction and stay broken. Basic supplies vanish. Guards are overworked, underpaid, and terrified. Many earn less than fast food managers while supervising murderers and gang leaders. Violence erupts daily. Contraband flows freely. Baltimore's jail is not guarded. It is abandoned. Into this chaos walks Tavon White. He arrives at BCDC in 2009, awaiting trial for attempted murder. On paper, he is nobody special. A stocky gang member from Baltimore's streets, facing decades if convicted. But Tavon White is a member of the Black Guerrilla family, a nationwide prison gang that has quietly dominated Baltimore's jails since 2006. Inside BCDC, BGF members see something the state has missed. A power vacuum so vast you could drive a truck through it, and Tavon is ready to fill it. From his first week inside, Tavon reads the terrain. Gangs run the cell blocks, but they fight each other for scraps instead of building something larger. The warden is a figurehead. On the tiers and in the yard, survival belongs to whoever can project strength. Tavon did not plan to become a leader, but leadership found him anyway. He has a gravelly charisma and a reputation for violence that precedes him through the grapevine. They call him Bulldog for his tenacity and his bite. When tempers flare in the chow line, Tavon steps in. When rival gang members brawl in the shower, Tavon brokers the peace. Each intervention grows his influence. Other inmates start looking to Tavon to restore order when the guards cannot. And the guards cannot. Many are young, inexperienced, or simply indifferent. Corrupt ones sneak in contraband for quick cash. Honest ones fear retaliation if they crack down. Management is paralyzed. The jail's administration even holds absurd town hall meetings with gang leaders to negotiate problems, as if running a jail by committee with convicted felons were a reasonable strategy. The institution has no teeth. But Tavon's crew does. He quietly assembles a hit squad of loyal BGF lieutenants ready to enforce discipline his way. If the warden cannot keep order, Tavon will. Within months, a new law takes hold in the cell blocks. If you want something done, go to Tavon. A stabbing about to happen? It will not proceed unless Tavon approves. A beef between prisoners? Tavon's court will settle it. He assumes the role of warden from the inside. In one intercepted call, he explains the system with chilling precision. Before a motherfucker hits somebody, they gotta run it through me. Before a motherfucker stabs somebody, they gotta run it through me. Anything that gets done must go through me. He is not speaking figuratively. He means everything. By 2012, Tavon is the uncontested shot caller of the Black Guerrilla family inside BCDC. Violence drops because nobody wants to cross Bulldog. To inmates living in daily fear, that security is currency. Tavon understands something the state never grasped. He is not just ruling by fear, he is ruling by providing. He fills the role the jail abandoned: protector, judge, and provider. But controlling violence is only the foundation. The question now is obvious. What does a man do once he owns the power structure of an entire jail? And will anyone ever notice? Muscle and authority gave Tavon control. To transform a jail into a kingdom, he needs an economy. Contraband has always circulated through BCDC: drugs, tobacco, cell phones, but it was petty and chaotic. Tavon imagined something bigger, a structured pipeline that floods the jail with goods and makes him rich. On the outside, corporations rely on supply chains. Tavon builds his own version behind bars. He starts small: a few cigarettes, a few pills, smuggled through guards he has identified as corruptible. Nothing that triggers an alarm upstairs. But Tavon is not interested in pocket change. He is studying demand. BCDC holds over 2,000 inmates. At least half are addicts, potential customers. Within these grimy walls, boredom and addiction create an insatiable market. Unlike on the street, competition is limited. Tavon holds the monopoly of fear. If he corners the contraband market, he can charge extortion prices and people will pay. The Black Gorilla family gets to work. They build a smuggling ring that operates like a black market Amazon. Anything you want, they deliver, for a price. Cell phones are most coveted. A prepaid handset costing $10 on a Baltimore street fetches $500 inside these walls. Prescription pills like oxycodone and Xanax fly off the shelves. Addicts pay many times street prices when withdrawal kicks in. Tobacco, marijuana, even razor blades. Home-cooked food from the outside. One inmate later said, "It's like a mini city in there. You could get anything you could get on the street." Under Tavon's watch, BCDC becomes Baltimore's most profitable underground marketplace. But how do you move that volume into a supposedly secure facility? Tavon's genius is understanding that the weakest links hold the keys. Guards become his entry points. The smuggling runs with military precision. Friendly officers bring packages at the start of their shifts, tucked into underwear, woven into hair, hidden inside body cavities. Searching staff at BCDC's front gate is a joke. Sometimes a co-conspirator is literally manning the security post and waves the mule through. Once inside, goods get handed to inmate runners and dispersed through cell blocks. This is smuggling on an industrial scale, not a sandwich bag of drugs in someone's sock. Garbage bags full of contraband arriving like clockwork. The profits roll in fast. An FBI wiretap later captured Tavon bragging that in a single slow month, he cleared nearly $16,000 in profit. Tax-free cash, generated wholly within prison walls. Many of the correctional officers guarding him did not make that much in a year, and that was a slow month. With that kind of money, Tavon stops behaving like an inmate and starts behaving like a CEO. He establishes an accounting system using green dot prepaid cards to launder and store earnings. Inmates who buy contraband do not hand over cash, too risky, too hard to hide. Instead, their families on the outside text 14-digit codes that load money onto green dot money pack cards controlled by Tavon's crew. Virtually untraceable, easily convertible to cash. Through this system, money flows seamlessly from prisoners' families to gang lieutenants to suppliers. Tavon has built a financial pipeline connecting the streets and the cell blocks. What do you do with tens of thousands when you are locked up? If you are Tavon, you enjoy it. He funnels some back into the business. Bribes, payments to suppliers, taxes to BGF higher-ups. But plenty goes to personal luxuries. He buys a black BMW and a gleaming Mercedes-Benz, registered in his name, sitting outside waiting for the day he might be free. He spreads wealth to keep operations running. One guard girlfriend receives a diamond ring, others get cash or cars. Everyone loyal is invested. By 2011, Tavon is not just rich for a prisoner, he is rich, period. Baltimore street dealers hustle day and night for a fraction of what he generates from a jail cell. People start calling BCDC the Guerrilla Family Factory Outlet. But one risk remains. the corrections officers who are not yet on his payroll. All it takes is one honest guard to start a crackdown, one whistleblower to bring the whole operation down. Tavon has bought off a few officers. He needs more than accomplices. He needs an army on the other side of the bars, and he knows exactly how to recruit them. What leverage could a prisoner possibly have over the people who hold his keys? And how do you turn your jailers into your partners? To truly rule the jail, Tavon must conquer those who technically hold power over him. He could try bribery or intimidation, and sometimes does, but he discovers a more potent weapon: seduction. The most shocking aspect of Tavon's empire is not the drugs or money. It is the soap opera of relationships he engineers. 4 female correctional officers at BCDC became pregnant by Tavon White while he was behind bars. That is just the headline. Start with the environment. Nearly 75% of BCDC's 650 guards are female, one of the highest proportions in the country. Many are in their 20s, facing gang members daily in a job that pays poverty wages and offers constant danger. Short-staffed shifts, violent altercations, and mental strain. Loneliness and stress are constant companions. Tavon sees some of these women not as enemies, but as opportunity. He targets those who are vulnerable and offers what they crave: attention, protection, and belonging. It starts with small gestures: a smile in the corridor, a compliment on how she handles a situation, a note slipped through the bars. "You look stressed. You good?" Tavon has a silver tongue. Soon, forbidden flirtation sparks. He breaks down psychological walls through the ultimate role reversal. The prisoner becomes the protector. For a guard alone in a housing unit with 100 inmates, Tavon's guarantee of safety is seductively reassuring. Who really has her back? The warden in his office, or the inmate who actually controls the men in front of her? Tavon is methodical. He does not rush to bring in this package for me. First, he builds trust. He arranges for his crew to keep her unit incident-free. A few weeks pass with no fights, no attacks, thanks to Tavon quietly pulling strings. She notices, then favors escalate. A designer purse appears where only she will find it. A wad of cash, courtesy of Tavon's outside associates. In recorded calls, he boasts about buying luxury cars for some of his favorite guards. Picture pulling into the prison parking lot in a BMW your inmate boyfriend purchased. Eventually, relationships cross every professional line. Tavon and these officers become romantically and sexually involved. They sneak to utility closets or unmonitored corners. One guard was caught having sex with an inmate in a supply closet while another female guard stood lookout. With Tavon, liaisons are planned. Late at night, when rounds are done, she lets him linger in the laundry room where no cameras watch. The exchange is clear. Affection and the spoils of smuggling in return for mules and informants. The guards carry contraband in oversized, baggy uniforms, cell phones and drugs taped to their bodies. They tip him off about upcoming searches. In January 2013, Officer Tiffany Linder warns Tavon a shakedown is planned in the cell block. That information is supposed to be classified. Tavon phones his underlings. They're pulling a shakedown tonight. Clean house.
Don't say anything else.
By the time the search team arrives, anything incriminating has vanished. The audacity reaches its peak with 4 officers: Jennifer Owens, Katara Stevenson, Chania Brooks, and Tiffany Linder. Each became pregnant with Tavon White's child. 5 children total, since one officer got pregnant twice. Tavon later admitted this under oath. 2 of these women were so infatuated they tattooed Tavon on their bodies. Owens inked his name on her neck. Stevenson put it on her wrist. The jail officers now advertise their loyalty to the prisoner in permanent ink. The guards are no longer guardians. They are foot soldiers and concubines. They deliver lobster and champagne if he wants. Fried chicken and Chinese takeout arrive regularly. They stand watch while he naps. If Tavon wants an inmate moved or punished, his lovers make it happen through official channels. One baby mother works in intake with power to assign housing. At Tavon's direction, she places enemies in segregation and moves allies next door. For officers not romantically involved, the message is unmistakable. Tavon White runs this place. Cross him and your car gets vandalized in the parking lot. or worse. By mid-2012, Tavon has reached the zenith of power. Money, fear, and love work for him in tandem. He is untouchable in the inmate hierarchy and untouchable by staff. In phone calls, he stops whispering, "I got elevated to the seat where nobody in the jail can outrank me. I am the law." By all observable measures, he is right. But when a man declares himself the law inside a government facility, how long before the actual law takes notice? And what happens when absolute power makes you careless enough to say it out loud on a phone the FBI is recording? Autumn 2012. Tavon's dominion is so complete that BCDC barely resembles a penal institution. It resembles a feudal kingdom. Inmates address him with deference. Some call him Bossman. He holds court in the cafeteria, swaggering to a special table with lieutenants flanking him while compromised guards stand by like attendants. The warden's directives mean nothing. Tavon's edicts carry weight. His rule flows through hundreds of small decisions. Which units get searched and which mysteriously never do. Which inmates get transferred to cushy kitchen jobs and which rot in solitary on fabricated infractions. It all traces to Tavon. He even influences personnel matters. Guards who cooperate are protected and enriched. Guards who cause trouble find themselves outnumbered and terrorized until they transfer or quit. Suspicions arose about the jail's female head of security, Shavella Miles. Word was she might have been complicit or willfully ignorant. She resigned quietly, never charged. The implication among inmates was clear. Even the top security official could not challenge Tavon and keep her position. Inside his private quarters, calling it a cell no longer fits. Life is luxurious. On a Friday night, Tavon lounges on his bunk watching a flat-screen TV a guard delivered. In one hand, a contraband smartphone. In the other, champagne in a plastic cup. Stories circulate of him feasting on shrimp Alfredo and New York strip, while other inmates eat microwave noodles. He wears premium sneakers and designer sunglasses indoors. The cell is still 6 feet by 10, concrete and bars, but Tavon has transformed it into a VIP suite. With each indulgence, he tests fate. On wiretapped calls, he grows openly arrogant. He chuckles that he makes every final call in the jail and nothing happens without his approval. He has stopped whispering because he believes no one can touch him. The state officials have proven impotent. Maryland Corrections brass either had no idea how bad things were or could not act. His corruption network extends beyond the walls. Using cell phones, BGF leaders inside BCDC coordinate with gang members on Baltimore streets. They direct drug trafficking, order hits on rivals, and according to federal indictments, engage in witness retaliation and intimidation. Tavon White can influence court cases by reaching out from behind bars to scare witnesses into silence. The jail has become a command center for organized crime, a state within a state. This audacity does not go unnoticed. The FBI's Baltimore field office hears rumors. An inmate calling the shots, guards getting pregnant by a prisoner. By late 2012, federal agents have seen enough fragments, a guard's unexplained new car, a spike in contraband phone seizures, to suspect something systemic. The whole orchard is rotten. Because local prison administration cannot be trusted, the feds treat BCDC like infiltrating a hostile cartel compound. They plant wiretaps. They flip conspirators on the outside. Green dot card records become key evidence. They likely turn one of Tavon's inner circle inmates into an informant. All under the radar. Tavon does not realize a noose is tightening. April 2013. After months building a case, the FBI secures sweeping RICO indictments against Tavon, his BGF confederates, and over a dozen correctional officers. In the early morning hours of April 23rd, law enforcement launches a massive raid. Federal agents and state troopers storm the facility simultaneously. Officers on the take who have shown up for the morning shift are met with guns and handcuffs. Other guards watch FBI agents slap cuffs on their colleagues at the prison gates. Tactical teams rush to lock down cell blocks. No violent resistance. Tavon's army is caught completely off guard. When dust settles, the numbers stagger. 25 people indicted, including 13 correctional officers, 7 of whom are women Tavon was involved with. An entire wing of BCDC's staff taken out in one day. Mugshots splash across the evening news. The nation is baffled. How could this happen in an American jail? Prosecutors outline a saga that reads like bad fiction. The tattooed names, the Mercedes-Benz, and $10,000 hidden in a cereal box at one guard's home. The Justice Department is embarrassed. State officials publicly apologize. Congressional representatives call it mind-blowing. Public trust in the prison system is shaken. Meanwhile, Tavon White sits in a federal holding cell, no longer king of anything except a bunk cot. A gang leader who demanded absolute loyalty now faces a mountain of evidence. You might expect him to stay loyal to his people, to keep quiet and do his time. But Tavon has one more plot twist, and it is the biggest betrayal of all. When your criminal empire collapses and the law has you cornered, what do you do? If you are Tavon White, the man who lorded over a jail and cultivated fanatical loyalty, you flip. The king of BCDC becomes a cooperating witness. Tavon snitches. The gangster who bragged, "I am the law," saves his own skin by helping the law take down his co-conspirators. Behind closed doors, Tavon strikes a plea deal. He agrees to plead guilty to racketeering and testify against others. Prosecutors could not ask for a better star witness. In courtroom testimony that rivets the city, Tavon describes how he did it all, how he recruited guards with charm and gifts, how contraband flowed through body cavities and bogus medical passes, how he set prices for drugs and phones, how he fathered 5 children with 4 different officers inside a jail. He lays everything bare, sealing the fate of his underlings. The betrayed guards listen in disbelief as Tavon recounts their intimate liaisons without hesitation. Jennifer Owens and Katera Stevenson, the women who loved him, tattooed his name on their skin. Now watch him point the finger in open court. Tavon provides evidence that sends many of them to federal prison. One defense attorney angrily tells the jury that Tavon's deal was so sweet that he walks. He gets no time from this case if he satisfies them that he tells the truth. Under the plea agreement, Tavon's federal racketeering sentence is 12 years, served concurrently with the 20-year state sentence he already received for attempted murder. In plain terms, Tavon does not serve a single extra day for running the jail scandal. 20 years was already on his plate. The feds folded their time into it. The kingpin of the scheme gets a deal so favorable he could walk free while some followers serve more time behind bars than he does. One by one, dominoes fall. In total, 40 people plead guilty or are convicted. Many female officers receive sentences ranging from years to decades. The Secretary of Public Safety resigns in disgrace. Baltimore City, Detention Center's men's jail, that Civil War-era hellhole, is shut down permanently in 2015. Sweeping reforms are promised. Better training, pay raises, lie detector tests, and stricter searches. The political equivalent of closing the barn door after the horse ran a criminal enterprise and burned down the barn. And Tavon White? He fades from headlines as quickly as he entered. After serving his concurrent sentences, there is every chance he will be back on the streets before middle age. The man who conquered a jail got a slap on the wrist in exchange for cooperation. In his final court appearance, he offers apologies, saying he regrets the damage he caused. Perhaps he means it. Or perhaps he is just saying whatever earns a benefit, true to form. When oversight fails and charisma meets desperation, even a stone fortress can be subverted from within. Tavon White turned a jail on its head through audacity, manipulation, and a keen eye for weakness. He proved that the strongest prison walls mean nothing if the people inside, inmates and guards alike, decide to play by different rules. And if you think guards falling for inmates sounds impossible, you have not seen what happened to the man who escaped a CIA secret prison. You can watch it right here.